Morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Hey, before we take a look at some charts, I would like to remind you that we have an open house coming up. Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So sure would appreciate everyone registering for that. Also, when you register for that open house, that's all day long. For those that register, we will be giving you an extra 2 days. You'll get a 2-day pass to the trading room as well. Let's see here. There we go. Had to click on a button. So that might be something that you're interested in. So a total of 3 days. So remember to click on that registration button. Okay. And you can check in our social media areas for that. Okay. All right. Let's get going here. Let's share this. Whoops, we already did that. Cancel that. Let's get our mic going. Okay, good morning again, everyone. Or good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. How's everybody doing this morning? Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Hey, Lee. Hey, Vernon. Hi, Ed. Ed, good morning. Good morning. Yorina, good morning. Jim, JW, Stephen Wolf, Joe, Donna, good morning. Bill, Chip, Rod, Sonny. Great big good morning to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate it. Let's see. Let's just start with the SPY here. Pretty clean chart. Only thing I really have on it is the trend indicator. That's the dots, the green and the red dots. That's the trend indicator. The black line is the T line. Of course, the candles is price action. The T line is the 8 exponential moving average. I also have my quadrant lines set up here. And that's what we'll be looking at this morning here. So I do want to remind everyone that if you're interested in live trading alerts, this is the time to pick it up. When you purchase a month of live trading alerts, you also will receive a month of hit run candlesticks. Sorry, members, does not apply to members, so apologize. But, just one of those things. So if you're not a member of hit run candlesticks and not a member of LTA, live trading alerts, this might be the perfect time for you to do that. All right, let's take a look at the market right here. So this morning we gapped down, which seems like the bulls are stepping right back in there, which is cool. The big thing for the bulls is going to be to get past this big fat red line right here. And this is the 50% retracement from the top and the bottom right in here. Now, I personally think that we've put in a pretty decent little bottom right through here, right through there. I like that. Now, I know that this day was just short covering, news announcement, fear, that sort of thing. Get out of the shorts. We're going to take right off. But what I think the brilliant part of it is on our pullback, look where we landed. See that line right there? That's part of our quadrant lines. So we're above the basic bottom building portion of the chart. And we've actually come above it by another level up here. So here we hit resistance, which is a no-brainer. To see that resistance all the way across there, we've pushed back, buyers coming in. So what it is it looks like the buyers are trying to find a way to get through there. Now, once they get through there, there's other targets up here, and we'll take one target at a time. Stay calm about it, stay unemotional, and stick with just the charts. It's the best way, in my opinion, to do. So right now, I kind of like the way the SPY is acting here. Qs are acting pretty good. Pretty much the same kind of chart. You can see that on this one, I have it drawn a little differently. We actually came down to the 50% level. This is going to be the 50% level if I drew it, from this top. But it's pretty much acting just like the SPY. And the truth is, there's so much tech in SPY nowadays that the Qs in SPY kind of run together. Sometimes you don't know when you're in one and out of the other. But right now it's looking good. It needs to get through that 470 area up here. Needs to get over this big candle before the bulls can really take off. IWM, excuse me. I think IWM is acting pretty well. Also, here we have this bottom right in here. Again, I know this was the day that, going to hold off on tariffs for 90 days. So there was a news spike here. But I think the brilliant thing about it is that we're holding through here, and now we're popping up, and you can see that we've got that big bottom building bottom in there. We stayed over it yesterday, even though we gapped up and pulled back, we closed over it. And today we're just kind of flirting with it. I would call this a very good move. Now that doesn't mean that the bears couldn't come in, and they could. They could come in and clobber us today. It could happen. We know that. But what we don't know, we don't know. We can't say that at noon today, this is going to happen. You don't know that. And that's why you follow chart patterns, price action, keep stops on, take profits, things like that. So anyway, IWM's looking really good. The transports are trying to work themselves up. Now, I think the transports, they need to be above those three little dashed lines right there. And again, that's going to be 50% of the recent meaning February high, down to the lows. We get over that, and it's just like voting. It's the same thing. You've got 100 people, and right now, pretty much that 100 people, they're voting. They're voting to keep it underneath that line. There's some folks that's trying to vote to pull it up, but it's still the votes are still larger to keep it below that line. And once we move over that line, then the bullish side of the votes win. You're going to still have up and down, but you'll have a little bit more of a bullish tailwind pushing you. Right now, you have a bearish tailwind with bulls just scrapping. Here, you'll have bulls with bears scrapping. So above that line is really, really, really important in this market here. I noticed that silver popping up on the scanner here, LTA live trading alerts. They have a pre-market scan. You can add different things to it, but we'll just say basically a pre-market scan. That works out pretty well, and it alerts me what's moving pre-market, and I can see silver overall is moving up. GDX was coming up as well. GDX here, so you can see it trying to pop up. Yesterday, by the way, we created a new scan, it was a spin-off of Dave. Dave, one of the members here, created a scan that he had some ideas on, and it turned out to be pretty good. So we've got a new scan called Dave's Fig, and then kind of a spin-off of that are two bears and a bull. And this was popping up yesterday all day long on two bears and a bull. And what a good place to have been buying this, knowing that if you failed the trend indicator, you'd be out of this. So if the trend indicator, if we didn't, here, do this right here. If we didn't continue to move up, and say we got partway up, and then doggone, and then we came back down during the day, well, your stop would have been nicked, but you would have gotten a really good entry on this right here. But it turns out the bulls wanted to get back in it. And now this morning, you can see that we're gapping up and we're above the T line right now. So what a great place to have been buying this based on that trading alert there. Anyway, I kind of like it. Two bears, two bears in a bowl, two beers in a bowl, two beers in a bowl. Maybe that's what I'm going to call it. Anyway, let's take a look at some stocks here. I think we ought to keep our eye on coin. I think coin is one that has massive potential to the upside. We've got an excellent bottom that has been built. We come in here, can put for the trend drawers. If you want to draw that trend line, there you go. We're up over that trend. If you take a look at this lower quadrant in there, we're about to pop out of it. When we pop out of it, you've heard the term it's building a bottom. Well, this is what I consider where we're building a bottom. When you break out, we've broken out of that bottom. And now this is where the construction to the upside can get going here. So I'm watching coin for that. BITO is looking good. It's the same type of chart. Here we're down. We built that bottom. I can put this in here. There's the bottom area here. See, BITO, we've broken out of that bottom. Now we're constructing a bullish trend to the upside. So BITO should absolutely, the Bitcoin lineup, the Bitcoin lineup, whatever you try, IBIT, BITO, any of those, keep an eye on those. Let's see here. Here's one. Anybody that's interested in a little bit of pot, CGC was popping up yesterday, and then pre-market, I could see it moving up. And here's, this is pretty good. You can just take a look at those red dots. It's all, I don't care where the price action is. I don't care about that at all. Just look at those red dots. Okay, right there. Now, right here, see the red dots, they popped green, but you had no follow through. You had no chart pattern. And here's what I mean by a chart pattern. Here you've got your leg one up. We have our pullback. That's great. That's what we want. Now, truthfully, I wanted to pull back, but not below the trend indicator. So game was over when we pulled back, but that's all right. Just in case, if we pull back under and then we pop back over, okay, we'll forgive it, but it has to stay there like that. Well, here we just had 2 dots. Well, now we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? Now we've got ourselves a little trend starting to brew here. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. So just draw a trend line under those dots right there, close to them, on them, under them. I just like to be close to them. Draw that trend. And now I've got a trend there. And now I can follow price using price, T-line, and the trend indicator here. This is also setting up a nice little pop out of the box on CGC. What time is it? Oh, we have time. IONQ is one of our members mentioned in the room yesterday. Look how that's building a bottom there. So if we come over here, remember the bottom is that lower quadrant. So just grab that bottom. Now we've got it colored in there, and see where we've got these tops. We break out of that top. You see where it can go right up here into that 3160 area. That's what I would use for a target. I mean, there's nothing says that it has to stop or pause there or break through. Nothing says that it has to do that. But as traders, this is the kind of stuff we look for. We look for where those little pauses might be, or those where we get stopped cold, or those breakouts. That's what we do. So this is a line that I will look for. There's the 50% retracement that makes for a nice target. We've got the bottom, and we've got here, let me my tools up here. There we go. A low, high, higher low, higher high. And then we came back. Ouch. We broke that low, didn't we? That's all right. Look at that candle come back. We came back with I don't know, my eyes. It looks like, I'm going to call it a bullish engulf. We came back roaring with a bullish engulf, a typical rest day, and then fantastic follow through. And as we hit this top, we get this pullback, which, surprise, surprise, these things happen. And, we as traders, we recognize it. You can see that we pulled back and we pretty much held up here. We've gapped, pulled back, a little flag. Looks to me like we're ready to make that next move to the upside. So IONQ is good. I want to take a look at PLTR, okay? And then we'll take a look at some of the charts you guys have. So PLTR, I've got a target of 210.60 up here for PLTR. Congratulations that those are in it. I am in it. Currently, I'm almost 25%, almost. And if we let's look at this weekly chart. If you look at the weekly chart, you can clearly see the bullish engulf here, and then the doji, and then the candle currently being printed. That's a doji continuation pattern. Continuation of what? Well, continuation just simply means going further, and it could be down too. I mean, if in a downtrending chart, you can find the same thing. Doji continuation down. Bearish H pattern is a continuation pattern down. A bearish Oreo cookie would be a continuation down. Well, we're in a bullish trend here, so we're looking at the bullish side of things, and this is a doji continuation bullishly. So I'm looking at 123.90 up here to get tagged. I mean, you could divide this up like right 112.08 here, just coming into that big candle. That would make sense for the stock for a pause, a little rest, possible breakout, something in this area. So we'll go ahead and keep that line. In fact, I'm going to put one more line up here right there, just using price action. Once we get through that area, 123.90, we break through there. And like I say, I'm looking at 110.60 as a target. We may add some more mid targets once we break out, and we might even add a higher target. But right now, I think PLTR is one to keep on your watch list. Don't pay too high for it. Let it pull back. Don't get caught in fear of missing out. If it moves up and you think, doggone it, I missed it. Just wait. It'll pull back. It'll rest. It'll give you a better entry. Okay. All right. Let's see what we have here. Nancy, good morning. Good morning. CCJ. Look at CCJ here. Yeah, look at that. Breaking above the downtrend. Let's do this. So let's take this. There we go. Just connect those two candles, those two peaks right there, and you can see how we're breaking through. Look how that bottom. Now, here's the thing about bottoms. You don't really know they're bottoms when they're being created. You can certainly reach out and buy into it and always have that hope indicator working as long as you have a stop indicator working. I mean, it's great looking, and in hindsight, it even becomes more beautiful. So beautiful chart pattern here. We've got a bullish engulf, a doji with follow through. There's your doji continuation pattern. We went right up to that trend line and we pulled back. Okay, that's what charts do. So here we go up. Here we pull back. We pick up more buyers. Buyers have now broken it out. Nancy, I think that's a fantastic looking chart right there on that one. Let's add this to it. Quadrant lines. All right. See how we're building a bottom right there in that lower quadrant level. Built that bottom, and now we're starting to break out. So we break out. Now we can run to that 50% level. Now I do have an intermediate, and I'm going to put that up there, an intermediate line. I have it set at 37. Look how it lines right up with those tops over there. Okay. So using the quadrant lines are absolutely amazing, I believe. Anyway, I like the way I use them. They work out real well. So CCJ needs to be on our list. Thank you very much, Nancy. I'm going to write that one down. We'll eyeball that today, okay? And let's see. Hey, good morning, S. You're looking at some LYV. Let's take a look here. LYV. Yeah, that's moving. You can see how that's just consolidating right here. I'm just going to draw this right there. It's just, we've got a bottom, tap, tap, and then a top, tap, we'll call that a tap. Tap. What we need is to break out, and then you've got that whole space up there that might get filled in there. Very nice. CCL, Carnival. Yeah, Carnival might be trying to come up. Let's take this top, come down that bottom. You can see we're taking out that bottom area, and then there's the 50% retracement. Notice how it works out. I got to tell you, it's amazing. More times than not, the charts, they line up. You know, when you do things like this, you can you see, okay, yay, I have a 50% retracement. Then you look over to the left and you see things like this right here. See where price just came right up into it? Look where price danced on it right there 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. It truly is amazing. I mean, there's the quadrant line right there. We can call these close enough. That one's right on. Those are close enough. Look at that. Anyway, it's an idea. Might help, might fit into your trading scheme somewhere. Sophie, let's look at Sophie. Sophie, look at that. Wow, I'm going to flag that one too. Sophie's breaking trend, or not quite, I guess. My eyeballs are crooked. There we go. So over trend, that would look pretty good. If we put the quadrant lines on that, you can see what we're doing. We're over that bottom, you know, we're over the dirt work. This is what the foundation, the footing. We're over that. Now we're working on getting over this trend line and building up into here, building high rise. SMCI. SMCI might be a player. Yeah, it's been a while for this little guy. Here, let's. Yeah, we're gonna have to use this one, I think. We have to get through this one first. So there we go. And what I'm kind of talking to myself here. You know, we can come up to this top line. I mean, nothing wrong with doing that, but we need to deal with this shorter version first. Deal with that shorter version, then you can put the longer version on it. But right now, that's setting up. Yeah. All right. Hey, good morning over here to our YouTube visitors, our X visitors, our Facebook visitors. Thank you so much for being here. You're dialing in live. You're dialing in. For those that don't know, you can dial in live every morning at 8:45 a.m. Eastern, and it is free. So thank you for being here. From Sweden. Wow. Thank you. Let's see. Maybe consider watching dark charts all the time. Save our eyes. White charts are too bright. Yeah, you know, there's mixed emotions on that. I get just as I get people say just the opposite. I guess when it comes down to it, it's going to be hard to please everybody. Yeah. So, Hydro, you're fascinated with Hertz, aren't you? You're absolutely fascinated with it. So a trend is a trend is a trend is a trend. So as long as it stays in a trend, it will stay bullish. I don't know what your entry levels are, but a trend is a trend is a trend is a trend. Okay, so it remains bullish. We talked about this yesterday. Target is still up in this area, and that would be the 50% retracement. Tomorrow on Hertz, your job will be to give us your insight on it, if you don't mind. So go ahead and type it out, and then I think you can copy it and paste it in there. Would love to hear your insight. Let's see. CROS. Oh, yeah, boy. CRS is constantly on my scans long. Candles are too small. Okay. Volume not so good yet. It's grinding higher. My thoughts. Well, candles too small. I'm not so worried about that. When the gap started, so let's do this. The gap started. So assuming you bought nothing down here, once it gapped, this would have been a buy either on the gap. I'm going to go these 3 candles, okay? So any one of those 3 candles. So any one of those 3 candles, and I'm going to split the difference. So about right here up to, and I'm going to go, we're going to go right here, okay? And then we closed with a wick, so I'm going to go right there. So what I've done here, is, to some of your questions, for instance, candle too small, not enough volume, 4 million, 3 million, there was 800. I think volume is okay. So if this was the buy, small candles are not from midpoint to, it's pulling back. So you close it here. That's 15.8%. So candles volume, it's working. It's working out. And now today, look at this. Big gap down. Bulls are coming in with a vengeance in here. So I think what I would like to do is do this. I'm going to go to a weekly chart so you can see it better. There we go. And let's put those quadrant lines in there, right there. I am going to add the midline in. Oh, that added up there. Okay. All right, that's cool. So next target here would be about that 2420. I would like it to get above the red dot. Now, keep in mind, this is the weekly chart. There's the daily chart. And there we are above the green dot. So assuming this chart holds up today, and I would like to see that breakout, or I would like to see that strength that it can break out of there. Now, the potential to the upside, I think, is amazing. I think that's a pretty cool chart. KROS. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. Where are we? Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate it so much. Hey, Terry, good morning. You took your profits on Hertz yesterday. Congratulations. Way to go. Way to go. Welcome, Terry. Thank you for being here. Hey, Stefan, how are you? Okay. Let's see. Do we have anything over here? Intel. Sean wants to look at some Intel. Yeah, look at Intel coming up. Intel is one of these love-hate charts. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Maybe not the chart, it's the company. I think we have a lot of love-hate with the company. But let's eliminate our emotions. Emotions get you nowhere in trading. So that's the big. You know what? We're not going to do the big picture. We need to do the small picture first. There you go. So the small picture, what I think is very nice about this is we're over the foundation. We've created a bottom. The bottom is in. All right. Doesn't mean we can still fail. Okay. Our foundation can cave in. We see it all the time. But this is the first step. Foundation in, and now we're breaking out. So I'm getting close to the end. So I'm going to do something here. And then we're going to call it a day. So if this is the foundation, think of it as building a house. Okay. Think of it as building a house. So now that the foundation is in, now we can start putting the sides up. We can start constructing, a house here, and go on our merry way. So once that foundation is in, man, that is so important. That bottom, we break out. Now we've got something to work with right in there. So anyway, I don't know if Intel is going to build us a nice house here. I can't say that. It's showing promise from the bottom. It's broken out of that constructed area. I think one of the most important things for this is it's going to need to take out that 50% level right there. Once we do that, we'll have the majority. Remember our 100 traders, 100 voters. the bulls will have the majority vote. There's still going to be some bears in there, but the bulls will have the majority of the vote. All righty. You guys take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Hope to see you all in the trading room. Don't forget to register for my open house this coming Tuesday. Okay. Later. You guys take care.